If you're here, I know you already understand the problems that exist in recruitment today, so I'm not going to go over that. What I do want to do is just share with you our vision at Elluum, and we'd love to hear your feedback. So here it is. Essentially, the vast majority of people employed today are either not engaged or actively disengaged in their jobs and organizations, which means they're emotionally disconnected from those jobs and therefore less likely to be productive. And it's predicted that there are trillions of dollars to be made in raising the value of people, which are perhaps our world's most underutilized resource. So our goal at Elluum is to help employers and recruiting managers get a more holistic view of candidates and help match them against their corporate culture and behavioral profiles. At the end of the day, these are the things that primarily determine success for high-performing individuals and high-performing teams. So in our vision, on the one hand, we have these two pools. On the one side, we have a pool of candidates, and each candidate is a brand. And so this is their brand profile, which consists of their skills, their experience, passions, drivers, beliefs, values, ethics, strengths, etc., etc. In the other pool, on the other side, we have the employer, who also has a brand profile or an employer profile, which is made up of their culture, mission, vision, values, ethics, and all of these things drive what happens within the organization. So, for example, their working hours, how they recruit, what their organization structure is, how they construct their meetings, how they communicate internally, externally, how they develop their staff, and generally what their HR practices are. So our message to both parties is don't hide who you are, showcase who you are. And for the employer, that means showing their employer brand through pictures, videos, blogs, references from employees, videos from hiring managers or current employees explaining the job, explaining their teams, and there are a few good examples of this in the market currently. There's themuse.com and jobio.com who are doing this great, and I think it's exactly what needs to be done. And so, at Elluum, we're looking at how can we do that plus more. On the other hand, we have the candidate. And we're saying to the candidate, don't hide who you are. Show yourself as a whole human being through pictures, through groups you belong to, what groups you're active in, social groups, sports, culture, your CV or your resume, through video, whether it be a pitch video for a particular job, pitch video for a particular company, or just a general video of who you are, what volunteer work you do, what achievements you've had, any articles you've written, references that you've received from people, and should we give candidates the space or job seekers the space to have their own career blog? Is that something we want to do? And basically, these two pools or these two parties are connected in the middle by this platform where each party can find each other. So no need for middlemen, no need for salesy recruiters. This is just about finding genuine connections, using filters and algorithms, using video questions and responses to speed up the process for employers, because this is a very data-driven space. There's a lot of information here, and we want to find ways to speed up the process and make it easier for both parties to find each other. The video responses we have in place at the moment, so employers have vacancies listed on the site, and any candidate or job seeker who wants to apply for that vacancy, the very first part of the process, including sending their CV, is to answer up to three preset questions that the employer has set in video format. So the employer is able to much more quickly shortlist the candidates rather than bringing more people in for face-to-face interviews. So some questions we have around here are, do we divide the space up into fields, communities, hangouts? Do we have an intern hangout or grad hangout? Do we have a digital space? Do we have space for sales? Or is it all together and just divided by or sorted through filters? And then algorithms. Do we use the algorithms or learn from dating sites who use algorithms to match to better match candidates? Can we learn from those? This site will have a very quick sign-up process because we understand that any customers are turned away by having more steps in the process to fill out. So a very quick sign-up process for the candidate, and then prompted step by step to add to and build their brand. And then just for fun, I want to have a just hired button in the top corner or somewhere, so that any candidate who has been hired through our site can just click on the button and leave feedback and share the experience that they had with us. And looking at ways that we can further market our site, market our brand through the latest technologies like Snapchat and Vine, etc. And just going back to the candidate, looking at control. So the candidates have all this information on their profile, but they get to control who has access to that full profile. So employers can see part of their profile, but they need to request access and be granted access before they get to see the full profile. And all of this is underpinned by helping. I want to, phase 2 for me is helping candidates through coaching, mentoring, CV advice, interviewing skills, development and training, how to understand themselves and what they're looking for in potential employers. And on the employer side, it's all the stuff Deborah and your team are doing at Ginkgo. At the end of the day, we only want organizations who match our philosophy to be part of our network. We want employers to understand that they're creating a funnel of future employees for themselves by creating a better candidate experience, so that even the people that they regret for positions become their brand ambassadors. So obstacles that we face right now, or questions that we need answers to. Obviously, money is always a big thing to continue to build our platform. Then there are questions like, how can candidates show their brand? So all of this here, what is this what we want candidates to do? Do these things work? Is there more we can add? How can we make candidates stand out other than just being, again, a text-based CV or resume with or without a picture attached, with or without your name attached? How can we make people stand out more? And is the world really ready to show who they are? Will individuals trust the process enough to add this information, and do they really want to share this? It's a question I think that still needs more discussion. And then how do we do phase 2? Phase 2 here, all the coaching and mentoring stuff here. How can we use these communities that we created to actually help each individual in this team or in the community? And will companies pay? So is this something companies would pay for, and how much? There's a lot of different competition out there, lots of different subscription models or payment models. And we need to discuss that further. And then also lastly, do we include an ATS? So do we hook up to other companies' applicant tracking systems and use whatever timing scheduling they have in their companies, or do we create within this platform an ATS, an interview scheduling platform. And yeah, so still lots of questions, lots of discussion. Would love to hear your feedback and any comments you have. Thank you.